Welcome back. All right, so some news of the day for all you fine people on the internet for your Friday, November the 10th. We're going to start off talking about the Oilers. So I haven't put together a board for an Oilers video yet, but it does feel like maybe there does need to be a discussion because I've started seeing craziness. I've started seeing, well, Draisaitl needs to be traded. What? Well, is this the time to trade McDavid? What? So you've got an Oilers team that's built around these two superstars. Again, I think McDavid's banged up right now. I don't think he's 100%. Draisaitl, I think, has played well enough. And Draisaitl and McDavid are both guys who can be the best player in the entire National Hockey League. It's like, I understand things are broken in Edmonton, but they need a supporting cast. The problem in Edmonton's been a supporting cast and goaltending. It's been the problem for years. And then the question becomes, so let's just say craziness, right? That they decide they're going to make a big deal. If you do not trust the general manager, if you're an Oilers fan who does not trust Ken Holland, do you want him to make that move? So currently, Ryan Rishaug is reporting there's no imminent coaching change for the Oilers, and that tomorrow night's game will be coached by Jay Woodcroft, but that after the road trip's done, all things will be evaluated. They need a better supporting cast, and they need better goaltending. This has also become a situation where, like last night against San Jose, the pushback wasn't there. Their power play is no longer this lethal, destructive force that it was. It just doesn't look the same. And I don't know that there's a trade out there that can be done. And if, for the love of God, people would stop trying to make Boston trade Ullmark. If I had a dime for every time I've seen a trade proposal with, well, if Ullmark, look, if Boston trades Ullmark, I know Boston's not on the board when I talk about this because I have stuff to talk about. So let's say you trade Ullmark. Your starting goalie is now Swayman. I have no problem with that. Who's the backup? Right. So if Swayman gets hurt, your 1 and 2 goaltenders in Boston are right. So that's why you don't trade Ullmark. Ullmark's not on the block. Boston's off to a ridiculously good start. Why would they want to make a big trade? So it's just insane. And they've got Poitras down the middle. They've got Beecher down the middle. Honestly, Coyle's playing well. Zaka's playing well. Why? Anyways, so all things will be reevaluated with the Oilers. By all means, in the comment section below, go ahead, trade Ullmark all you want, because I see it all the time. It's just it's starting to break me a little bit because I'm like, why does everybody like? You wouldn't see people going, if they could go get Shesterkin out of the Rangers, like, because we know Rangers are trading Shesterkin. Why would Boston trade Ullmark? He's on a bargain contract too. Why would you do that? Anyways, I'd hang up the phone if I was Don Sweeney. I might chuckle a bit every time somebody calls. Is Ullmark available? No, he wasn't available yesterday. He's still not available today. Ken, stop calling me. Anyways, moving on from one issue in Alberta to another, and this one might be turning it around. That's Calgary. Markstrom's day-to-day. It's an upper body injury, so this is why Wolf was called up. Vladar starts tonight against the Toronto Maple Leafs, meaning your backup for tonight's game will be Wolf. If we want to see Wolf in a game, and I do, hopefully see him over at least the next week or so. But Markstrom's just day-to-day, so maybe he won't be out that long. We'll find out, right? So upper body injury, so shoulder, maybe his back from trying to carry the team, something like that. We'll see how long he's out. So the Ottawa Senators have an issue at home. They're now 3-5. Now, last night's game, they probably should have won that game. I'm not going to say Vancouver outplayed them because I don't think they did. But that being said, the results are what matter right now for the Ottawa Senators. Being 3-5 in their first 8 at home, that's tough. They've only played 4 games on the road. They're 2-2 on the road. If they were 5-3 or 6-2 at home, and this is what they were hoping, right? A home-heavy schedule to start the season might just be what they needed to have that good start. And the 3-5 home record has absolutely hurt them. And they're another team that might be looking to make a deal. I am sure there's about 10 GMs in the NHL that wouldn't mind making a trade right now. It's difficult to make a trade. What Minnesota did, trading out Addison and bringing in Bogosian, brilliant work on their part, because it is difficult to make a trade in the NHL in this day and age with the salary cap being where it is. So for Washington, Kemper's out of the lineup. So he's out of the lineup. He's considered day-to-day, just a bit banged up. So they've called up Hunter Shepard from the AHL, and Lindgren's going to get the start tonight. So Lindgren's been good to start the year, and Shepard did win the start that he got when he got called up earlier in the season. So with Kemper out, hopefully a few days of rest or whatever he needs to rehab gets done, and he's able to return to the lineup and play. As we know he can. His stats have taken a bit of a hit over the last couple of games. And with this information now being out there, you have to think, so was he playing through something? Which players do all the time. And it can be frustrating because there's that question, right? Like, okay, are you helping your team by playing hurt, or are you hurting your team by playing hurt? In some cases, you won't even notice that a player is playing hurt necessarily. If I would told you wouldn't know. In some cases, you can absolutely tell, and it can hurt the team. So, yeah, it's a fine line, though. Hopefully Kemper's not out that long. Speaking of injuries, Columbus, a team no stranger to injuries. Patrick Laine, a full participant at practice today. They could use him. They have 4 wins in their first 13 games. It has been a rough start to the season for the Blue Jackets. They absolutely need Laine in there. They need more goals. And he's a veteran at this point in time. With the amount of kids in the lineup for Columbus, Laine now is a veteran. Be seen as one of the leaders to try to bring them out of this funk they've been in. And we'll see whether or not Laine can do so for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So Sportico are doing their valuation of NHL teams and teams all around North America, but our consideration for this video is NHL, right? They value 22 NHL teams at $1 billion or more, and these valuations are going up quickly. So NHL teams worth a lot of money. The cheapest team, they evaluate the Arizona, right next to them, the Arizona Coyotes, who have a valuation of $675 million. So that's a lot of money. And again, with the NHL, this is part of the reason why, as much as we hate to talk about expansion, they're going to be looking at it. Because if these teams are all worth $1 billion or more, well, now you can charge $1 billion expansion fee, right? It can go from that $500 million Vegas paid to now $1 billion. And if you bring in, say, I don't know, 4 teams, it's $4 billion split 32 ways. It's a ridiculous amount of money. And remember, the players get $0 of that. That was enshrined in the last CBA. They fought to keep it. Why would you fight to keep it if you weren't expanding anymore? That doesn't make any sense. So Pittsburgh, this is about time, isn't it? They're going to retire Jaromir Jagr's number. Now, they can be forgiven for not retiring his number for one reason. Dude's still playing, but we know he's not going to come back and play in the NHL. Not at this point in time. And his number is going to be retired February 18th before the game between the Penguins and the Kings. So, yeah, that's going to be fun for Jagr. Looking forward to seeing that number going up. The number 68, and in the article I was reading, it was talking about how Crosby, Malkin, Letang can all look forward to their numbers being retired as well when they're done. And I don't think anybody's going to have any issue with that. It is interesting to look at how many numbers are retired. I've thought about doing videos on, or a video on, and videos, maybe one on the Eastern Conference, one on the Western Conference, looking at teams that have retired a lot of numbers, teams that haven't. But yeah, it's not in like an easy table format either. And in some cases, multiple players are retired for the same number. But yeah, it is interesting to see which teams are really generous about retiring numbers and which ones aren't. But it's nice in Jagr's case because there's been some stuff between Jagr and the Penguins organization over the many, many years since he left the team. And it'll be nice to see him go back and have his number retired. So that'll be fun. Patrick Kane. Where's Kane going? According to Chris Johnston, he's got 5 to 7 different teams that he's considering at this point, but they're all in the East. Does not have an interest in the Western Conference, which makes sense. Veteran players often will sign in the Eastern Conference. It's a little bit easier because you're staying in the same time zone for at least, I would say 60-65% of your games. Because all of your home games are going to be in the same time zone. But yeah, there's a lot of teams in the East, and then you don't have to worry about the travel as much. A lot of teams that are closer. So we'll see where he ends up. But I don't think it's going to be an overly expensive contract for Kane. I think he's looking at an opportunity to go somewhere to win and a chance to prove he can still play. Because after the way last season went down, his numbers were not fantastic. And There's a lot of speculation about whether or not Kane's going to be any good when he comes back. What kind of player we're going to be looking at when he does come back. So let me know your thoughts. Do you expect Patrick Kane to step into whatever lineup he signs with and just play top six and not miss a beat? Or do you think it's going to take a while? Or do you think, guys get older, and so for Kane, he's going to end up being a third liner, not very many points? What do you think he's going to do? Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video or because you feel like it. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.